Thank you to Obsidian and Xbox Game Studios for providing me the game to make this review possible.
I see.
Oh, sh**! Avowed is the latest Western RPG to hit the market, and it is developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Xbox Game Studios. With Xbox lately having a hit-or-miss track record, Obsidian decides to step up to the plate and take their swing and attempt to bring us an entertaining time. But do they achieve this goal, or is it another underwhelming venture for the RPG market? Only one way to find out, so let's go! Gameplay. If your first thought when hearing about Avowed is to think of Skyrim and what that title implemented back in its heyday, then you're already coming onto this game off the mark with your expectations. And that's not because Skyrim was this masterpiece, because, hot take, I didn't think it was, and preferred the gameplay and story of Morrowind and Oblivion, if I can be honest. What I mean by that statement is that this title aims to focus a lot on gameplay and story over the abundance of interactions you'd expect from a game like this. With one of the things that people will be annoyed about right at the start is not being able to attack every NPC you come into an encounter with. Trust me, I get it, because my nature has always been, what, you talking crap to me? Okay, then you die. It's the way it has to be. I mean, even if you didn't talk crap to me, you're still dying, especially if your name is Adoring Fan from Oblivion. Then you just get stuffed underneath a bridge at a lake where you belong.
Wow, you're the grand champion. I saw your fight against the Grey Prince. You're the best. Can I follow you around? I won't get in the way.
I mean, if you want to die, sure you can come along.
Golly, you're the best.
Die!
Instead, you have to think of Obsidian's staple of what made the studio great in the first place by looking at titles such as Fallout New Vegas and the more recent game, The Outer Worlds. Honestly, they've made way more than that, with honorable mentions of Neverwinter Nights 2, South Park Stick of Truth, Dungeon Siege 3, etc. You get it. However, New Vegas and Outer Worlds is what Avowed mostly plays like, so it's best to keep those two titles specifically in mind when heading into this adventure. Here in Avowed, you play as a godlike known as the Envoy, an enigmatic being a deer, and go along with your ruling empire. You're sent to a far-off land in order to find and fix the cause of the Dream Scourge in the Living Lands region, a territory that your emperor wants for their own, no matter what costs. The beginning of the game eases you into the tutorial side of things by letting players experiment in figuring out how specific mechanics work for your combat, letting you roam around for exploration, get an idea of the decision tree and how that works with the narrative, alongside how you use it to speak to other NPCs, which lets you wet your feet a little and so forth. But before heading into the real adventure, which begins when arriving in Paradis, a bustling port town where everyone seems to hate you since you're an Adir, the Emperor's puppet who does his bidding. Everywhere you go, people stop and tell you, "You're a godlike!" And then mention your face because, as a godlike being, all godlike have weird figuration on their face that makes them stand out. You're definitely going to get tired of hearing them chirp on about it. Literally every kiss-ass or jerk in the game is going to mention it at least one time to you, and you'll most likely hear it 20 times in the first few areas you traverse. Godlike! 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 Okay, I get it! However, you are very wrong. I am not a godlike because I'm an American! Not everyone is a jerk about it, though. There are people genuinely happy to have you on their side and treat you with respect as you traverse the land and make your way through the game and attempt to save people from the Dream Scourge. And oh crap, someone is left in a jail cell left to rot? What the hell? That's absolutely horrible! Don't worry, I'm on my good guy playthrough. I'll go get the key and let you out of here, don't you worry.
About time. Oh god! What's the matter with your face?
Wait, what?
You mean a god gave you that face?
I'm ugly? What the heck, lady? My face isn't even that bad looking. You know what? Sure, I'll definitely go get the key for you. You just wait here, okay? Grab the key and the treasure, and okay, bye, chump. Have fun rotting in jail, you loser. The The game's world is really vast, with a large variety of locations to discover, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart for someone who is borderline ADHD like myself, who 1 minute will be heading towards the main game objective, but then out of the side of my eye see a castle, encampment, house, or something shiny, and then proceed to lose track of just what the hell I was even doing for the next hour or so. Trust me, it's extremely easy to do this when the title is divided into multiple zones, each one opening up its expanded land to explore the more milestones you meet as you progress through the main narrative. Which may seem like a bummer at first that you can't just go wherever you want all the time and right away, but the zones are so large itself that you don't get the sense that an area is condensed or closed off because there's absolutely so much to explore and discover at any given time. While there's a ton to get into that ties into the aspect of exploring this large game, which we will get into it, the narrative itself is also pretty compelling to say the least, that has a plot that keeps you guessing just what in the heck is going on in this world as you struggle with your orders given by the Empire. Seeing citizens of Paradis turn into monster-like zombies as an infection takes over the land and destroying it, make choices that will determine who lives and who dies, with one specific point in the game asking you, do you save one area and its people, or do you sacrifice dozens in their place just so they can survive? It gets pretty dark. Do you let dwarves and their people burn alive after a volcano erupts? Or have hundreds of people all over Paradis fall over and die immediately like they get a finger snap of Thanos? That's the type of choices you will make in this narrative that will not please everyone and will leave you, alongside the cast of characters that join you, questioning if you did the right thing. And above that, make civilians hate you for a decision you made as well. Meh, whatever. I'll just go find an XFL jersey of He Hate Me and wear it around town. Cause come on y'all, don't be hating! The cast of characters are ones I actually enjoyed a fair bit. Normally in Western RPGs, I find it hard to connect with specific characters because most of the time sidekicks or companions are written as just someone to fill a gap with no real development at all. But not here in Avowed. Nope, here I found myself mostly loving every companion I was able to recruit. Kai, who is very much more serious than the others, and a character who's into philosophy and always has something to add to the conversation. Marius, your angry dwarf friend that is a jerk most of the time to everyone because he's so crass. Giada, who works on dark arts within her town to find a cure for the Dream Scourge, and Yatzil, who is a tad bit crazy and hyper, but means well. Each character has varying personalities and do not feel one-dimensional. You can get their opinions during quests, which will affect your decision-making for story, create a campfire out in the open world that houses your storage, blacksmithing, weapon enchantment capabilities, and have a heart-to-heart talk with them one-on-one to make your journey more personable and learn more about them. Then when leaving camp, choose which two to take with you in your party, which is really hard to choose as I like everyone. However, choosing them does have consequences, because each fulfill the usual RPG roles, such as Kai being your tank, Marius your ranger, Giada as your magic user to cast barriers and heal you, and Yatzil uses magic that opens up paths that only her magic can do, etc, etc. The same goes for Kai that uses fire to take down webbing, Giada uses lightning to open door mechanisms, and so on. It's all really well done. Although Marius is lucky, because sometimes this boy be mouthing off to me something fierce, and it makes me want to throw him like Gimli in Lord of the Rings. Which brings me to the overall combat. Alongside the characters that I mentioned, all of which have their own specific spells and weapons, so to do you with a straightforward action RPG system that will feel a tad bit familiar to you, that again boils down to what style you want to play as. A fighter who can use a sword and a shield, mace, greatswords, ranger who can use bow and arrows, guns such as rifles and pistols, wizard that can use sorcery via books and a wand. Oh no, a wand. Must resist urge to Avada Kedavra! As a fighter, you can choose to have a sword and a shield bash enemies to stun or counter them, or if you hate playing defensively, simply dual-wield weapons of your choice on your offhand or secondary selections. Me personally, what I ended up choosing for my main setup around mid-game was on my main hand I'd use a large rifle that charges its power up and then gives off one huge blast of energy that hits for a ton of damage, especially when maxing out its stats to superb levels, which I did. Then on my secondary selection, I chose a superb level sword and rare shield to stab, block, and slice with when my gun would take too long to reload. You can use any variety you want really. Sword in one hand, wand in the other, magic in one, gun in the other, whatever you want, go for it. While it's not ultra innovative in itself, true, it still encourages you to play an active playstyle that makes you manage your stamina and essence for the use of magical capabilities that makes combat a tiny bit more strategic, but not entirely. less complex, and more if it's not broke, don't fix it, really. Alongside your combat also comes skill trees, which not only you as a player are able to upgrade, but so too can your companions. And each skill tree for your character unlocking more power, rushing attacks, use of fire, electricity, jump and ground smash, or equipable movesets that can be set to your hotbar selection wheel that you can choose to command your companions with, such as ordering Kai to burn down spiderwebs or vines that block your path forward, or when you're trying to find a really hard to reach secret treasure chest, use Giada to find 3 or 4 mechanical devices hidden around a cave or a temple and use her electricity to zap them good to open the door you're trying to bypass, or even shut down hazards like swinging spikes or deadly shooting arrows. It makes each character feel vital and not just a meaningless add-on like other RPG side characters feel like. But what if you don't have someone in your party when you run into specific obstacles? Simple. You can find items that you can throw that will cause electricity, cause fire, blow up a wall like you're the Kool-Aid man, or use Everyone Loves Ramen ice throwables to toss on water and freeze it and give you ground to stand on to make it across a pond. Okay, I know the item isn't called that. It's like Rigmart or whatever, but calling it Raymond just makes it funnier when throwing it and yelling, "Go, Raymond!" like he's a Pokemon. Let me have my fun, y'all. Sue me. Combat, narrative, and support companions aside, exploration and discovery is where Avowed truly shines by allowing you to open up the map to the point where you can go wherever you wish to go into towns and cities and pick up quests for people.
There's only one way to find out.
Hey, wait a minute. That's my line.
Or just venture off into the world with no goal at all and just run into weird, funny, or dangerous situations. Like while you're searching for materials to gather or rare chests to find, you can walk up on crimes being committed, like a group of grave robbers digging up people's graves to find something they can sell. What the heck? Excuse me, sir and madam, what are you guys doing? That's illegal, you know.
Though, I don't recognize whose godlike you are, with whatever that is.
Hold up, excuse me? Okay, Kai, hold my ale. This woman's about to get learnt. You there, sir, the innocent one. You may leave. Everyone else, you all die. Alas, the filthy thieves have been stopped. Justice has prevailed. Innocence brought back upon thy land, and, I mean, no one is around to witness anymore, and I mean, they did go through all of this trouble, so yoink! I'll just take this and be on my way.
Listen to me. If I catch you grave robbing again, I will find you, and I will kill you.
And don't you dare tell anyone, or I will pillage your village. Well, now that there's one good deed done, it's time to continue on your journey and explore some more, because exploration in Avowed is heavily rewarded with rare items, rare weapons ranging from rare to superb levels of quality and stats, and then there's, oh my god, another civilian in need? Don't worry, madam, I, godlike supreme, shall be your savior from this foul beast. Never fear! Oops. Moving on to other aspects that tie into exploration are doing side quests for people, in which I've done a ton, but not all of them are exactly amazing either. Some boil down to the typical, hey, I can't get back to this area I was in because some mean monsters won't let me through. So you just run to the area they tell you to and slay some monsters and come back for a reward, which, let's be honest, is pretty boring. However, there are missions that are more in-depth that involve you making hard choices and seeing how well your morals stand up. Specifically with a smuggler's quest. In this quest, you are tasked with helping out 2 refugees who are on the run from a group of smugglers that are trying to kill them. It's your job to take the smugglers out so that the refugees can get free passage out of the land and escape. That doesn't seem like too much of a problem. So I get what little payment the refugees have left and venture off to find the smugglers, which of course I do. You know, I can't really blame the smugglers for wanting the refugees dead. They're kind of an ass. So tell you what, my fine friends, why don't we make a deal? I'll pay half of what they owe and we'll call it square. At least that's what I thought at the time of the confrontation. But then I remembered the beginning of the conversation, that the main smuggler insulted me, so alright, then pay with your blood! Okay, great, they're all dead. I completed my task, and thank you very much. Dead people don't need their money, so they won't mind that I take this. But wait, I got like 1,000 gold from the refugees and over 2,000 in rare gear from the smugglers. That means there's only one thing left to do. Turn them into the police, get them arrested, and profit.
Envoy.
Tell Madam Captain there are refugees. Murders hanging out in the district behind town. Bring them to justice.
We will fashion a visible lesson to everyone in this city that justice does not discriminate.
You've sent them to their deaths. You and your empire gain nothing from this.
Did you enjoy that, Envoy? I hope you got something out of it.
Nice. Overall, at the end of the day, Avowed ended up a really fun time with a level of immersion that I haven't had in a while in an RPG, and gave me memories of the freedom I experienced in titles like Oblivion many years ago in regards to how silly the characters are and the art style chosen for the game. It isn't anywhere near perfect, obviously, with problems like not every NPC being attackable, not every building being able to go in, glitches here and there, like towards the end of the game where I fell through the floor. That happened only once. But with exploration allowing you to run into some funny characters, questlines or scenarios like one mission where I had to retrieve books for a monk that are sacred, which I do as I climb a tower, and then a woman stops me and thanks me and asks if I can give the books to her, only to find out that she's the one that stole them to begin with. I mean, I could give them to her and pretend this never happened, but screw that, I'm telling on you, I say to her as I run off and tell the monk she stole them from, only to find out that the consequences of her stealing the books means her immediate execution. Oops.
It was just a prank, bro.
Alongside that, the questing, exploration, finding secret paths, using skills and abilities, great companions to get to know, choices made that matter in the main story, and an immersive atmosphere makes this game godlike to play. Get it, people? Godlike? Because we played as a godlike? No, not gonna laugh? Okay then. My amazing jokes aside, while godlike is an overstatement, the game does in fact become an enjoyable experience, even if it's not overly innovative or possesses flaws here and there. I played on PC, and other than the glitch through the floor I mentioned, I never ran into any graphical errors, slowdowns, or crashes, and I run on an i7-4400 with a GeForce RTX 4070. So with all this having been said, my verdict is clear. Game & Chick says bye now.
Envoy!